Today, guys, we are on Osmo Pocket 3. I picked it up again. I loved it the first time I opened it, and like I mentioned on that video, even though I returned it, I did rate it a 10 out of 10 because I do think it's the easiest camera you can get out there. So for anybody that doesn't know how to film, that wants to start vlogging, filming their kids, needs a dad cam like me, and wants to be able to put this thing in their pocket and not have to worry about anything, just hook up the microphone seamlessly, then this is for you. I think this camera is meant to be used on auto mode, and so that's what we're gonna be doing today. I'm gonna go through the settings real quick. We are on automatic white balance, automatic exposure, so I don't have an ND yet. It's supposed to be coming in today so we can get that nice motion blur. But for now, bear with me. We are gonna go full auto. I did switch to D-Log M to try that out. I do have the DJI mic minis hooked up to this. I went on the custom image settings and I went to -2 sharpness. I left the noise reduction at 0. We don't have any lenses on here. This is the standard. I think it's a 20 millimeter lens on this, and that's what we're gonna be rocking today. So let's get going. All right, guys. So today, because it is a 3-hour shoot, we're gonna be rocking the FX3 24-70 with the Nisi filter in the front. 1 to 5 stops. My Cineback rig here. If you haven't checked out Cineback, and you own an FX3, I think that you should take a look at it. It's from Camera Foundry, and I absolutely love this thing. It reminds me of the days when I used to shoot my red Komodos. This is where I'm gonna mount the Osmo Pocket later on, so that way you guys can get like a first-person view of what I'm shooting as I'm talking and all that stuff. So I think this is the best time to be bringing this Osmo Pocket 3. This is gonna be like a behind the scenes camera for me, but if it's good enough, I might do just like my out daily vlogging with it, depending on how you guys enjoy it. I'm gonna get some feedback from you guys, and if you guys enjoy the grade and the quality of this versus my regular ZV-E1, obviously that's like super, super cool, but it is a lot bulkier if you compare it to this. I know they're two different monsters, but at the end of the day, you know, what's gonna get me to get better shots and motivate me to go out and film in like public and stuff like that. And right now, at least in heavy public places where I'm gonna be possibly getting looked at, I'm definitely gonna take this. This is so much easier. I don't even mind people watching me on this thing because most of the time they don't really know what it is, and I feel like they think I'm texting. I just picked this up yesterday, and so this is kind of like my first time using it. Besides, like I said, yesterday I was at the store and I just turned it on and was playing with it. All right, guys, we're gonna try this tracking thing. We are gonna be using the Peter McKinnon 25-liter bag. I'm gonna take a couple of these batteries just in case. You know, you always gotta have backups when you're shooting this kind of stuff, because you never know, you know, what if the small rig battery fails, you know? All right, 24-70, and then this is my go-to lens. Like if you need to have one of these kits for your running gun, like this and a 24-70 can like get every single shot you need. But we're definitely gonna be using this today. I'm gonna take the Hollylands, and then I'm also gonna take the Wireless Pros because I might need internal recording. If sometimes last year they asked me to go to another classroom and just record the audio for that. So what I did is I put a lav on the speaker, and then I was able to record that while I was in the auditorium filming the main conference. So sometimes it's nice to have multiple wireless mics or multiple options of mics, because you never know. Everything's a tool and you use it in different situations. So for example, the Osmo Pocket 3, right now, this is cool. I can like be packing and this thing is just filming me and tracking me. So since it is my church event, I'm gonna switch to my church hat here. All right, we're ready to go. This one I don't put in my backpack. I just carry like this. The microphone that's on here is the D80S Mic 2S. It feels good. It's got a nice weight to it. I'm all handheld, guys. This is the first gimbal type of camera that I use, so I'm not used to gimbals. So even this, I have it on the screen versions. Wherever I point the screen, this is where it's going to film. So I'm used to just wherever I point the camera, that's where it's gonna go. I'm not used to the gimbal movements, but this is so nice. I don't have to adjust my ND filter anymore. Hi, bye. Bye, buddy. All right, let's see how this is exposed. Oh, it's not exposing correctly. I forgot to, I don't think I have it on auto mode. I think I set it to 1/50th. Hold on, guys. Let me get in the car. All right, guys, it looks like I didn't have it on auto mode for exposure. I forgot last night when I was inside. I had adjusted it to 1/50th because I wanted to get that motion blur. You know, I didn't realize how important motion blur really is, and how, like, I don't know, I didn't think it was a big deal, but you know, because I guess I was used to always shooting with it, but I never thought it was a big deal until I recorded one video from Best Buy yesterday to my house like this, and I could see how jittery this was, and it was just, it threw me off. It made it, I think that's what made it feel like cheap, you know, like a cell phone quality. It's still 4K, but you know, I wasn't getting that cinematic feel to it. So realistically, there's no way I could be taking you guys on a vlog like this for behind the scenes if I had my ZVE1, because that just takes up a lot of I have to fiddle with it. It's just another full body camera, and that's where this kind of thing is going to come in. So I think this is going to be my behind the scenes camera. I'm definitely going to keep it now. I really, you know, last night I kind of was having some buyer's remorse again. I was thinking about possibly returning it again today if it didn't go well. But after thinking about it for a little while, I'm like, you know what? The quality is not that bad on auto, and this is so small that I can use it as a safety angle. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm literally gonna keep it, because I can see myself using it at weddings. For example, when I do like first looks, or like you know, like a dad first look, a groom first look, I shoot weddings by myself, so I don't have time to set up my tripod and put the other FX3, which is what I've been doing, but it just takes up a lot more time. I have to let the photographer know, hey, give me like 2 minutes. I set up the tripod, put the FX3 on there, and then hit record, and then I grab my A cam, which is what I just showed you guys, and then I hit record on both. So this is a perfect little thing that I can pull out of my suit jacket, set it on a little corner or on the floor, hit the tracking thing, and just hit record. And I know that I have a full, like, wide angle safety of the moment in case something happens. So, and the internal mic on this thing is pretty decent too. Yesterday I accidentally, when I updated it at the store, I started recording, and I thought I had synced the DJI Mic Mini to the camera, and I didn't. So when I finally updated it, I forgot to resync the microphone. And so I was talking and doing vlogging at the store, just playing around. I wasn't gonna post any of it. I decided not to, just because all the settings were just all over the place. I was just toying with it. So I didn't really have a good theme or a good conversation for you guys. And I thought today, I was like, you know what? I have a job today. Should I take it? So I'm gonna do it. The deliverables for this job is a like 1 to 2 minute highlight. So I just gotta get a lot of it's just a lot of B-roll. All right, we're gonna head in here, guys. Check out, scope everything out, and I'm gonna take you guys on for the ride. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I didn't bring a jacket today. Usually when I work, if I know I'm going to be inside, I try not to bring so many things to carry, just because it gets bulky. I need to be able to move fast during these kind of shoots. I work by myself, so I got to be as quick as possible. And thank you. All right, guys, now we're official. The first thing I like to do is walk around the building, scout out the area, see where things are happening. I do have a full schedule of all of the events. Right now we're going to have, looks like we're gonna have a little speaking thing in here. Probably like a little hangout area for coffee. All right, this is gonna be the other room right here. So it looks like we got some games going on in here. All right, guys, we're gonna start off with the 24 to 70, and I'm gonna mount this camera right on top, and then we're gonna go. I'm gonna talk through this B-roll and stuff like that. And so right now, typically when I start these, I get all the B-roll stuff first out of the way. All the details, signs. People are going to be getting here in about 20 minutes. We're going back to standard stabilizing, but I'm going to get a quick hand shot of that. I'm going to bring it back again. I'm going to get a few static shots because there's pictures here on the wall that show the history of the church. So we're going to be getting some of those. And for these, I'm gonna go manual focus because sometimes it's hard to focus on frames. Most of the time when I'm shooting for other people, especially my FX3, I use manual focus because I want to have full control of where the focus goes, and then I can do like rack focus effects and stuff like that. So manual focus is definitely for my professional work and client work where I'm managing the camera. I definitely want to do that instead of having the AI autofocus. So I used to be concerned about the FX3 not having the AI autofocus, but now it makes sense, and I realize I don't need it. But I do love it for filming myself, and I think it should be on the any sort of vlogging camera too. So, all right, guys, we're gonna go to the lobby where all the action's happening. There's a couple of vendor tables I'm gonna be shooting here, so. This is where you'll probably want to switch over to a 70 to 200 so that way people don't see you when you're filming. All right, I don't know how well that was tracking me because it is kind of dark here, and it is kind of dark here, and I don't know. I'm still getting used to the tracking thing. So that was like one of my first times using it besides home. It's pretty loud here too. So we're gonna test out the sound and see how this sounds like. So let me know how the sound, how you guys are liking the sound here. All right, guys, I'm gonna sneak in some coffee. I hear decaf has caffeine in it, but just like almost nothing compared to regular coffee. So we're gonna be going inside here, checking out the main room, and just seeing what kind of lenses I'm gonna use. I think I'm gonna be switching over to the 70 to 200. So that's what we're gonna be doing right now because I'm gonna have to get some close-up shots. All right, sorry if the sound is pretty loud in here. It might peak audio like crazy, but let's go. Getting some behind the scenes right here. I'm trying to go behind the stage so I don't be a distraction. RX bars for the win. I just learned something about D-Log. With D-Log, I was messing around with the exposure, but with D-Log, you can only do, if you're using auto ISO, you can only do 50 to 3200 max. With standard profile mode, you can go 50 to 6400. I was kind of confused on why it wouldn't let me go past 3200 because I had seen 6400 before, but I think it's the D-Log setting. So on D-Log, the max ISO you can go is 3200. So I think you can get better low light if you go with the standard profile. I just don't know what that's going to give you in terms of like dynamic range. So maybe I should switch to that. All right, guys. So now I switched it over to standard profile, which gives me that 3200. We're still at negative 0.7 exposure compensation. So let's see what this looks like. I'm going to throw my grade over this like I usually do, and yeah, you guys let me know the difference. Do you guys prefer D-Log or do you prefer standard profile? By the way, I just checked and my ND filters are about 8 stops away. So hopefully by the time I get home, I can play around with them and then show you guys some real life vlogging with them. So, all right, guys. So we filmed a little bit of B-roll on the breakouts. Sorry, kind of I'm focused on work, so I might have lost track of where I was at and talking to you guys, but it's lunchtime. I'm gonna eat before lunch break happens in about 20 minutes or 15 minutes. We got Chick-fil-A, so, and I was gonna get a Coke, but I haven't had a tea in a while. I used to love these things. Like growing up, I used to go to the gas station and like pick up one of the big iced teas and just ride my bike or my scooter and drink those. It just reminds me of like my childhood summertime with my friend, riding our bikes, broke and happy. I've never tried the Chick-fil-A sauce, so I'm gonna try it today. It's kind of cool, but I always feel like this Osmo Pocket is always kind of facing up a little bit. So I always find myself using the joystick to bring down the angle. It's like mayonnaise and barbecue sauce. Tastes like mayonnaise and barbecue sauce. It's good. 10 out of 10. I guess there is a little bit of background blur. It's not so bad. Once the weather gets good, I'm gonna start exercising a little bit more. That's something I want to do. And I think this camera's gonna be perfect for going on walks, runs, going and vlogging out like at the park or something like that. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Got all the B-roll we need. It is lunchtime, but before that, we're gonna head home because my ND filters from DJI just arrived. I got the notification, so we're gonna drive home, drop this camera off, back up the footage, and then we're gonna head over to my mom's house because she made me some menudo, which is I'll tell you a little bit about that. So let's go do this unboxing of the ND filters, and let's get that motion blur going for the rest of the vlog here. It's actually a really nice day. It's supposed to be like up on the 50s this coming week, so hopefully all this snow melts. I'm tired of it. Got the ND DJI 3 set. I got the 3 set ND from DJI. And let's try these out. Like I said, guys, the reason why I went with the DJI magnetic ND filter set was because I figured they're going to be the best since it is made for their products and they made it. I hope that the engineers took the time to test it on their own product and all that stuff, and hopefully it's going to get me the best color and best footage that we can get with this little tiny camera. All right, so right here looks like we're overexposed. All right, there we go. We're overexposed there, clipping the highlights. And now it looks like we're doing good. I just don't know if that's how this thing goes. All right, looks like we got the motion blur on, but it looks like I'm way underexposed. Let's throw on the other ND. I'm gonna try the 16. Maybe the 16 is the one I need in here. All right, guys, we have the ND 16 on this one, which is the lowest one. Looks like I'm exposed correctly. Doesn't look that bad. I got it at negative 0.3 auto ISO, standard profile 50 to 6400 on the ISO. Let me know what you guys think. Is the motion blur still going? Is it keeping me not overexposed? It looks pretty good. Motion blur. Do I look cinematic? Do I feel cinematic? All right, let's go on a ride. Super bright. We got ND16. I hope this is enough to keep the motion blur going. Man, I'm not used to this. All right, we got the ND16 from DJI. Hopefully this is enough to keep the motion blur going and not overexpose my highlights. My car has tinted windows, so I know that there's not that much light in here, but it looks like it's doing a good job, and we're keeping our motion blur so things look nice and cinematic or feel cinematic. I'm glad Amazon had an overnight free shipping on these NDs because I ordered them at like 10 o'clock at night. I can't believe I already have them. Like, Amazon is crazy. Looks like we're keeping the motion blur. Let's see, things are not that, oh shoot, man. I almost tripped on that thing. There's ice on the floor. Hopefully my mom's home. We are on D-Log and we have the ND16 on. So I think that exposure EV, what it's going to do is that if right now, like I'm inside, I have it at plus 0.3. And what that's going to do is it's going to increase the ISO that it's picking. Because when I looked at it before, when I had it on the -3, it was like an ISO like 200. And I think I could bump it up a little bit. I mean, this thing should be pretty good at around 1600 still if I wanted to really crank it up. So I cranked up the EV to plus 0.3. Now, real quick, you can only do this while you hit record. So you hit record and it only works on the clip that you're working on. And once you're done filming it, it goes back to your default setting, which is whatever you set it to. Like mine is negative 0.3. So, and that's pretty cool. So here it is. Remember I told you it kind of looks like a sea sponge kind of thing. It's kind of soft, chewy. They're like little 1 inch. Look. Yeah. On one side, it's like, so one side here, one side of the menudo is like, what do you call it? One side of the menudo is like a spongy side, and then on the bottom side, like this, is like a really, I don't know, slimy is the best word, is the best word I can use. My mom's trying to explain to me what it is, but it's really good. And then obviously the rest of the stuff that you see on here is the hominy, and then this is just like the juice and the broth that's cooked in it. It's spicy. You use chile de árbol, chile guajillo, and then you get yourself some oregano. You grab some oregano and you put that on there like this. You could grab onions and put it on here, but I don't really like onions. We're gonna grab one of these limes. And then you put some lime juice in it. I'm gonna put this back so I don't splash myself. I like a lot of lime on mine. It already has chile on it, so you don't have to put chile, but you can put more if you want it super spicy. So we got that, and then let me show you what the bolillo looks like. You can get this at you can get all these ingredients at your local Mexican store. So this is what a bolillo looks like. It's kind of like a football. And you just take a bite. You can put some salt. I forgot the salt. I want to put a little bit of salt in there. And then, yeah, you take a bite of that. And typically, this thing you'd want to eat with like a Coke, or we like Squirt around here too. Or even better, you could have it with beer if you want to. But if you're hungover, you might just want to eat it like this. A Coke would really help. All right, we just got home. All right, guys, just got home. I'm gonna look at all of this footage. We're still in D-Log, and I got the ND16 on just to see if it's good enough to keep indoors, so that way I don't have to keep changing filters on this thing. But so far, it looks pretty good. Let's up the exposure a little bit. Now we have it on. We're gonna keep it right here. Let's see what this looks like. Testing out the light. I'm gonna go out here, see what it looks like when the light changes. Do a little grade here. We're gonna come back this way. Lighting's pretty decent right here.